Check, check. Okay.
Hello.
All right. I didn't even get to pour my. Of course, now I need to bring OBS back.
Hello. Hello.
Check, check. Okay. Finally, get my headset. Yeah, I had to go unplug the HDMI cable that goes to the streaming PC and plug it back in. I don't know. It wasn't like you could see us both, but there was just absolutely no audio. No audio. Which is connected to my desktop, not the camera. So
yeah. Okay, just give me a second. I can hear you on the stream. Let me just see if I can hear myself.
Oh yeah, let me check too. Say something, I'll be able to tell.
I can.
Yeah, you
can. Yeah.
I can tell by the because I have like an audio bar too in OBS, and
Awesome.
it picks up everything that's the stream's supposed to pick up. And most times I won't see if I can hear you on because you and I are chatting on a different computer altogether.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You and I are chatting on a completely different computer, and so if they can hear my audio, they can hear your audio because it's all together in one package coming over to where I'm looking at it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, man. But yeah, what? How much time? I think 15 minutes. Delayed. But
we were gonna. We were gonna. I think it was destiny for us to end the season how we started at 15, 20 minutes late. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers, brother. Cheers. Finally
cheers.
here.
Yeah. What a rodeo, right, man?
What a rodeo.
This was awesome. So yeah, we finally made it, and we actually changed a little bit the plans. We were planning to finish last season next week this season, and we were planning to have some special guest, but unfortunately we have to change the plans, and we're gonna finish today. So this is the finale for this season. Woo!
Okay, yeah, the finale, dude. 25 minus 1 hidden episode that we still have to produce. But man, I was looking back too when I did the math. 1,000 views on just YouTube. I don't know what we've done on Spotify, but just 1,000 views on YouTube is, I think, great for something we barely promoted, right? Outside of just our local network.
Well, saying that we barely promoted, you are overstating because we didn't promote at all, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Barely is probably being generous, I guess.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was about to open the Spotify to check because I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah.
But my new computer, so I have to log in. I don't remember. By the way, which brings me, man, I'm gonna tell a quick story here.
Tell me.
Because this computer was something, man. Was something, and I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks already.
Yeah.
I bought this on Black Friday. It came all the way from China. It was supposed to arrive last Friday, and they kept delaying. So it was supposed to be then on yesterday, right?
Of course,
and then didn't arrive again. And then today, earlier this morning, I woke up 6:15 and I checked my phone. oh, it's booked to be delivered up to noon, something like that, 1 p.m. Bro, it got here was 6 p.m. like 1 hour ago. And oh my God, I can't wait. I ran to my room and I plugged it and I started setting up because I wanted to test. I wanted to put into test.
Yeah.
And man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It already worth the investment. You know, just with the quality that I see now on the stream, man, this is amazing.
Dude, dude, I know what it's like to get the new computer too, man. There's nothing better than it, and I can already tell the quality too and the smoothness of operation. And I wish I could blame you for all our technical problems today, but it's all me. That was all me. I've never had that happen before, but man, so you after them teasing you, and then you finally thinking you wouldn't have it for the last episode of the season, you got it at the last hour.
I got it, and I am very, very happy. So, yeah, lots of good stuff coming. I think this brings some value to the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, improving the quality of the show was one of the motives that I wanted to change this, but also some other aspects that I was planning. But I definitely planning for a better quality and better performance overall for the show was one of the things that I was thinking when I bought it.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll help a lot too, and I know that you deal with like computer programming and building stuff and learning it on your spare time. So that computer go a long way to helping you, with some of that stuff too. So that's really good, dude. I'm glad. I need to get a laptop. I still don't have a laptop, and it's actually, it's actually.
Why?
I think you're good. I think it's because I don't, like, I work remote, right? So I have this massive chunker of a PC right next to me, right? I got this one for those viewing it. So, like, I don't have to. I have a big, huge computer, so I don't really need. Like, I didn't think I needed a laptop. But I tell you what, when it comes to, like, when we go to UiPath's events, right, and me wanting to create footage, dude, if you don't have like a laptop, like, there's no way for me to do that, right? Because unless I buy hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of SD cards, like, just trying to record the footage would take up too much space. And after like a day and a half, I would have no more space. And so just to like store it and transition it to like a cloud drive, you need a laptop. I need to get one, but I don't travel enough, right? I mean, forward, the MVP summit, a couple of conferences maybe, but I don't. That's it, basically.
The point for me is not traveling with the computer, is actually the mobility within the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wake up in the morning, I work from my kitchen, for a few hours. Then I bring the laptop to my office. But sometimes I am on the couch, sometimes I am on the bed. Yep. So it depends on the mood. I am always mobile within the house. So that what brings me to laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And my office is quite limited in space. It's a shared space, actually. I share with my daughter. So this TV that you see in the background with Bots and Beers, it's actually my daughter's TV with the PlayStation. So we share this. If I move the camera around like you, let me see if I can. Oops, shouldn't have done that.
He's lost in the menu, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to rotate the camera.
So see, there's some toys over there. There's a picture of my daughter. So
as soon as you scroll past the MVP trophy, it's definitely obvious that that's not a.
Yeah, so we kind of share half and half the shelves here.
Well, she's nice. She's nice to give you half of the shelves.
Well, I am nice to give her such a great space, right? Because I am paid for this.
There you go. You could have put a half of that shelf. So no, I like the style of the shelves. I also right next to you the little storage bins.
Yeah,
I have the exact same style underneath my. I have 2 of those side by side underneath my TV in my living room that are housing all of my son's toys, and then I have 3 of those side by side in my master bedroom. Or the whatever they call the bedroom nowadays. Like I have them in there and full of like clothes and stuff and more toys. I love those things. I have one actually still in a box, unassembled at the foot of my bed, and a piece was broken off, and my wife was going to resend it in and to get a replacement. And it's just months have passed and we forgot about it. But I love those things. I think they look good and they're good for storage.
Yeah, those are my daughter's storage. I don't have any of those. If I open up, it's going to be quite messy, I believe.
Yeah, right, dude. You should see the ones in the living room with the kids' toys. It looks. My wife's always getting on to me because she likes to like when he plays with the little toy set. She likes to put them back together, and I'm just like, we got so many of those bins. I'm like, hey, just find a bin that fits in, and I'll just throw all the stuff in there. So that's what I do. Just stash it in there, and she gets mad because she'll open a bin and it'll just be hundreds of random toys. Right, there's no like rhyme or reason to the toys like organization from when I pick it up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, looks who is there?
I see the creeper in the background.
Yeah.
Hello. The Bots and Beers Grand Finale Season 1. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
She's gonna steal the PlayStation. She's gonna take the PlayStation.
Yeah, but she has to learn that she can't enter when I am on live.
You need one of those on the air lights to put above the door when you go live. When you go on the podcast. Even my wife, she was like, "Didn't you guys do it Tuesday?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it's Thursday too. Tuesday was a guest speaker." So
I need one of these chairs that you have in your door so I can put on mine. Then she doesn't enter.
Yeah, right. That's dude. You see too. That is not a decoration, ladies and gentlemen. That is a safety mechanism to keep my almost 4-year-old from barging in when he doesn't. And you'll tell when he gets fed because when he gets fed up with not being around because the doors will start bowing and they'll start shaking.
Sometimes I see that indeed. It's funny.
I try to ignore it. Just ignore it. I hear it. Boom, boom.
It's hard, man. It's so distracting, right? You get lost on the track.
For sure. Definitely is. But man, so I mean, we've got season 1 almost wrapping up. That's pretty crazy. We got season 2. We're going to start. What's our plan with season 2? When are we thinking about kicking that off?
Mid-January, I believe.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I like that. I'll probably work on like a season 2 trailer for us, right? I got some ideas about season 2. I think I told you a few of them. Yeah. Warhorse K-Bar. Fingers start poking under those doors. Yeah, they do. Fingers and toes. And then he's got like little weapons, right? So that's when you know it gets heavy is when my son starts swinging those weapons under that 1 inch of clearance underneath the doors. He's a tyrant. Even at 4 years old, he knows how to get you. But yeah, so right. So I think we're gonna have more guests lined up for season 2, right? I want to start bringing on some of the people that I started programs with, right? We can really dive into the history of RPA. What's the state of those programs now? I want to see if there's any that aren't around anymore, right? Any automation programs that I started that have went extinct. I don't think so. The little hammers, yeah.
That was one of the topics we brought up quite a few times, right? The longevity of the automations.
Yeah. When do they get sunset?
Exactly. That's something very interesting because, to be honest, I don't know how far they go, right? I don't know if they are built to last.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really too, right? You see, but a lot of organizations, they're doing the wrong thing, right? They're building well, it even started with us at USAA, right? We were building automations there, and they were just tactical. They were junk drawer automations that were just solving an exception process. Some of them weren't, but some of them were. And there would be if you got any type of efficiency built upstream or in your IT orchestration, like there would be no need for those automations. So some of them should just be sunset because, they're just not used anymore. But yeah, I would love to. I mean, I've been in the RPA space so long now that some of the people that I work with, they're not even in the space anymore. Right? I know one gentleman I want to see if I can get on here. His name's Ryan Dunn. He was the executive that, started the first RPA program I was in, like sort of a trailblazer. But he got into, I think he went and opened up his own bed and breakfast after a couple years. So first of all, everybody on the USAA RPA team, first of all, after we won those awards, everybody on the RPA team, they all got promotions and they all ended up leaving the company. I don't think very few of them. Now, some of the junior people, like some of our initial developers, they're still there. But all of the directors and managers, like they all got awards. This Ryan gentleman, he went on to go to Travelers Insurance. Have you heard of Travelers? The red umbrella. It's like they have a pretty famous logo, but Travelers Insurance is pretty famous in the U.S. But he went over there and helped start their RPA program. Then he got out and did like a bed and breakfast thing where he got like a bed and breakfast. And then after that, I think he got into like investments. Like he went to an investment firm or something. But interesting. I want to get him back on because he was like one of the first. I worked for him and helped him build up the program. And that was my intro into RPA years ago.
Nice. There's one friend of mine that's funny. You said that because this guy was a Java developer, and I worked with him for quite a long years. Yeah. I actually went to college with him. Remember the picture that I showed you when Alan was here with us?
Yeah. Cracking another one.
He's on that picture.
Oh, he was the other guy in there?
Yeah, he was one of the other guys there.
Nice.
And I came to Canada, and I kind of lost contact with him. And I saw his LinkedIn profile, and somehow I started talking to him. Okay. And it turns out he totally left IT behind.
Yeah.
And now he's a yoga teacher.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Some people do that. There's nothing wrong with. I would love to like interview these people too and get their thoughts on, why do they break out of the field, right? We got a lot of people who are interested in coming in. Some people leave it. I'd love to get interesting stories, right? I think that next year, even though we do automation, that's sort of our bread and butter. I think, we can branch out, right? Because even some of the people that I want to bring on this guy. I think I mentioned him. He's one of my wife's high school friends' husbands. And he's been working on this crazy thing for like the CDC, and he has this crazy concept where they basically create this biodome, and they put viruses in there, and they like go to war, and they like battle each other, and it's a very fancy scientific stuff, but very interesting. And I wanted to get him on here, so I mean, it's something just interesting topics, interesting things, and interesting people more than anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Because hey, how do we learn new stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to do something. We have to read, we have to watch, we have to talk. You have to receive inputs somehow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you are elevating.
I was just adjusting it a little bit, sorry. It wasn't the right.
I thought you were joking.
No, my desk. I was using it earlier, and I realized that it was kind of sitting a little high, so I was adjusting it. That's funny. It's too hilarious. My bad. I didn't mean to break your train of thought there.
Oh man, I get lost quite easily.
Same.
Earlier today, I was in an appointment, a doctor's appointment with my daughter. My daughter wasn't the appointment, actually. I was just with her. And the doctor got into the office, and there was all sort of mess on the counters and here and there. He started talking to me, and then getting papers and just throwing away and kind of organizing his office while he was talking to me. I was having such a hard time to pay attention to what he was saying. Yeah, because I was following his hands, and he was all over the place, moving from here to there. Oh my God.
So distracting, huh? Didn't hear a word that he was saying. Shuffling papers. I would just be wondering what the heck is the doctor doing in there? You know, why is it all disheveled in here? What was just going on?
Oh man, it was such a mess, that office, man. We had to wait for like over 2 hours to get it over. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, it reminded me of us in Vegas, and we went to all those CVS's to try to find stuff. And we asked that gentleman where the pet store was, and he was like, "Ain't no pet store around here." He's like security guard looking around the building, like a pet store, and you're like showing him the Google map. You're like, "Sir, it's right here. It says it's right there on the map." And he's like, "I've been here for 30 years. I ain't never seen no pet store." So that was your first time in Vegas. That's crazy. As a dystopia, I remember you mentioning on that walk too, as dystopian as you thought it would be from what the images and what you saw.
Yeah, I thought it would be crazier.
Yeah,
it's not a regular place, right? It's not a regular city. At least the main strip, it's very unusual to say the least.
Yeah,
but it's not as I thought it would be, because when you watch movies, when you see it on the internet, people post so many different things, and I was expecting to be like much worse.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad,
but it still is not my kind of place.
Yeah, you're not gonna move there anytime soon, right? You're not gonna move that direction. I wouldn't either. I have family that live there, but I wouldn't live there. And I also feel too like it would be one of those places that I don't know. It's like when here living in San Antonio, everybody knows of the Riverwalk, right? So like downtown, they have this thing called the Riverwalk, and literally in the middle of the city, there's like a river. And so if you're on the street driving around, it looks like a normal city, but on certain intersections, there'll be like, stairs that go down, and then there's like a big river, and you wouldn't even know. And it's a buzzing party life. Like there's all of the shops that you see on the streets. They'll have like a riverfront type view, so there'll be like restaurants and tables down right on the Riverwalk, and it's really, really serene. But anyway, the natives don't really go there. It's like where all the tourists go, right? Like we go down there like once a quarter and stuff as well. So I'm kind of the same way too, right? If you have that kind of stuff, you don't really go out. You don't go to it. It's like not something that I would do. Not something I would go to. So even if you live in Vegas, right, it's not like I would be going to the Strip consistently. I'm sure people that live in Vegas, they don't really go out there. So
yeah, just regular people. That happens quite a lot. I live in a few places, and I've been to a few places, and usually the locals don't go as often to the main points as the tourists, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to find people from the city that don't know or have never been to the touristic attractions of the city.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Speaking of tourist attractions, you got some plans next week? Are you guys going out on any crazy trips or just local? Or
well, we are planning to go down to the border, south of the border to the US. We were planning to drive all the way to Miami.
Woo! That's who. Yeah. So when you say we, is that usually you, Joe, driving? When we say we driving,
yeah. No, that's me.
When we play, I just checking at the check. It's very nice of you, though. We plan to drive down to Miami. That's from Canada to Miami. That's like an hour, 2 hours. That look on your face. That's got to be in the highlight clips, the shorts. 1 hour, 2 hours.
No,
Joe's reaction.
That's about 24 hours driving.
Man.
But I don't know. Probably we are not going that far, but somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in the middle of the country. Some we are going to do something, right? I just don't know what exactly. But yeah, let's see, man. We were planning to go to some other places, but I still have some restrictions because I didn't get the final, the physical card. Remember the PR card, the green card, Canadian green card.
Yeah,
I didn't get the physical, so I have some limitations to travel by boat, by plane, by train. I can drive though. I called them, right? I called them to make sure that I could, and they said, "Oh, if you are driving, you can go to the U.S. But if you are going by a commercial via commercial ways like plane, boat, train, you have to apply for a different visa, like just one-time visa to cross the border and come back." And I don't know how much time it's gonna take. I know how much it would cost. It would $50 each one. And then I just thought, I mean, this doesn't work. I don't even know if I will get on time if I apply today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you don't want to make plans around it and then it fall through. So might as well just make the plan to hit the road. Exactly. I don't mind it too, right? As long like on occasions driving. I mean, like I think we've talked about on another episode, like we've definitely drove across the US multiple times on moves, right? Like 10, 20-hour drives. And so I know what that's like with family. I know what it's like with a full family, like me, wife, mother-in-law, baby, multiple dogs. Yeah. And so I definitely get that. Do you travel with your dogs? Do you travel with them or you leave them at home?
It depends. This time, I think I'm not sure what's going to happen this time. But yeah, quite often we go with them. They are so nice. They are very calm. They don't bother at all. They just, lay down and sleep all the way.
Yeah. No, my dog takes years off of my life every time we travel.
Really?
Yeah, he makes me seriously contemplate my life decisions and life choices when I travel with him. He tries to act like he's like a pit bull. He's aggressive in expression like a pit bull, like people imagine like the nastiest of pit bulls. And like I don't care if it's a 98-year-old woman on a walker, like he'll bark and run. Like you'll have him on a leash and you'll be like tug of war, like leaning back, holding the leash because he's like, rah! But he's never bitten anybody except children. And he right, he doesn't, and he's not like crazy aggressive. Like he'd just go over there and sniff and lick people, but he barks and he looks vicious. And so it's very hard to like take him out or go for a walk, or you go to hotels, you gotta like take him outside, take him for a piss or take him to poop. And he usually like finds a reason to poop in the bathroom no matter how many times you take him. And so I definitely have the stresses of traveling with dogs. I'm not a super fan of dog travel.
Well, my dogs don't stress that much, but it's a lot of work, right? And it limits you a lot when you travel with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though my dogs are very, very nice, they also make me contemplate and think on my decisions, right? Because of course I love them, I take care of them.
Yeah.
But man, I don't want another dog. I have two though, right? But whenever these two go away, there's no.
Yeah, my wife already knows too, and like a little bit about my background, right? And having to travel all the time, or at least move, right? I have to move consistently every few years, and so it's just been such a pain. I mean, we were in a very hard spot when we went to Virginia because we were only in Virginia a year and like less than a year and a half, and so we weren't going to buy a house. We had to find some place to rent. And then just like nobody wanted to rent to us because we had a dog. And then finally finding a place where somebody would let two dogs in. I told Dixie after that too, and like the pains of the house here too. I told her like, dude, unfortunately, very sadly, one of my dogs passed away in San Antonio, so we only have one left. But I told her, I was like, no more dogs after this. Like I can't go through the stress of moving with dogs. I said, once you retire, once she's out of the military and we find a place and we actually settle down, and I know I'm going to be there for years and I can get a big backyard, like, and I can, have the time to do that. Like, yes, but I just don't want to deal with another travel, another PCS, another move, having to worry about a dog and, like neighbors and just, yeah, I feel you. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But man, they're so adorable.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like and they're always there. It's so weird too. Like they're always there when you absolutely need them too. Like when you're having a bad day or you're having like a crappy moment. Yeah, big dogs too. Depending on how you have, and my dog's not even that big, right? I have a weird, awkward. He's like a wiener dog, right? He's like a Dachshund, but he's like long haired, and he looks like a different kind of dog. So, but he has the body of a wiener dog, and so he's a very odd dog. And he grew up around my other dog, which is a Chihuahua, and she was like a lap dog. So he just grew up thinking he was a lap dog, and he just flops around. And I don't know what it is about wiener dogs, but apparently they like have a little pee problem. It's not like they pee everywhere, but when they get excited, the little bit of pee will come squirting out, you know. It's just like, oh my God. You love that when you're about to go somewhere and he lets out a stinky, smelly skunk, you know, smelling pee right on your shorts. I'm like, no, I don't want that, man. I don't want to pee on me before I go somewhere.
Yeah. Well, once again, this just makes me contemplate my dogs because they are so good. They don't do that at all.
That's good. And that's the thing. Like, I'm talking a lot of trash on Winston, but Whiskey was she was an angel, right? She pooped and she held her pee and she pooped. She was really good. She didn't mess things up. She didn't like rip holes and bite holes in the corner of the pillows like Winston. She was good like that. And when she didn't like bark at people like Winston. So like if you took her to travel, she was great. The only thing is she hated to be on a leash. And she wouldn't like.
Did she behave without the leash?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think she would ever not behave. But I mean, I always abided by the rules. So when you're somewhere and they say I have a dog on a leash, like I just, because I'm the kind of guy that when people don't have their dog on a leash, I'm like, why ain't your dog on a leash? Read the sign. So, so I always had her on a leash, but I don't think she was ever a problem when she was off a leash. Like she never ran away or anything. But the problem is like it wasn't like she would like pull away or yank away from the leash. The problem is you put a leash on her and she would just sit there. Like she wouldn't want to walk. So like, the first time I ever noticed it, it was kind of a joke because I was sitting and walking around the house the first time I tried to put a leash on her, and I had like tile floor at that point. And so like I'm just pulling her and she's in the seated position and she's just like sliding across the floor because I'm like pulling her and she's like refusing to walk. We don't use like like the neck things, right? It's like the body harness or whatnot. So she's just like getting pulled through the harness. So yeah, she doesn't like to walk. She didn't like to walk. She was a funny dog. She was a great dog.
Yeah. My dogs are fine with leashes. One of them is so nice, so easy to go. Like she doesn't bark at all to anybody, even dogs.
Yeah.
But the other one, the older one, she doesn't like other dogs. So the only problem is when there's dogs around, and she is small. So whenever there is some dog close by, I just pick her up, and walk away.
Yeah,
she's going to stare off the dogs and try to grump a little bit, like. And then whenever she doesn't see anymore, then she's good.
Yeah, no doubt. I know Rome Dog. I see he has a dog as his profile picture. I think he had some videos too of dogs too. I wonder what kind of dog he has. Seems like another dog lover. I have a crazy dog story too. It wasn't my dog story. It's kind of a sad story, but it just shows you the nature of dogs, right? And how you never know. But I was at a friend's place where I was just staying there for the night. It was funny because the dog story actually has the reason I think it came up is because I was transporting my dogs from South Carolina. They were staying at my sister's while I lived in Virginia. Oh, that's the problem. I meant to say, like, I was just talking about Virginia trying to find a place. We couldn't. That was the thing. Like, we couldn't find a place for dogs, and we almost couldn't find a place to stay because nobody would accept the jobs. So I had to get my sister to watch my dogs for like a year and some change.
Wow.
So yeah, it's such a stress. But anyway, I went down there after Virginia when we got stationed here. I went down there to grab my dogs from her and drove them from Carolina all the way to Texas to get them here before. And I was at one of our stops, and I was staying at a friend's of a friend's, and they had dogs. They had a bunch of dogs. And they were telling me a story because they take in strays, and they said that one of their dogs they'd had for like 10, 15 years, and they had 2 strays. And that while the husband was away because he worked in the government and he was overseas, while he was away one time, the wife was just sitting there and she noticed that they were having some weird interactions. And I've got a lab, Great Dane, German Shepherd. Mixed, nice. Those are some big dogs too. Staffy. That's cool. But anyway, the dogs there, they were kind of messing around one day in the front yard. She was out smoking a cigarette, and something kind of happened. And she said the 2 stray dogs they'd taken in, they started attacking her dog. And they literally started ripping it to shreds. Like they were like biting it and bleeding. And she was, that's her dog. They've had it forever. And she went in there to try to step in. And they like bit her face. And like she had to have almost 100 stitches in her face and arm and shoulder. And they basically, those 2 dogs like killed her. The 2 stray dogs killed her dog. And, you know, the ambulance came, the animal control came, and she ended up having to they lost all 3 dogs, right, that day, because obviously they took the dogs and put them down. But yeah, it was a crazy situation. And she still had the scars from it, right? And they told me that story. And I was like, that's so crazy sometimes. Because I have friends too that take in stray dogs, right? And so you're like, man, you know, you never know with animals. They're dogs. And that's why I worry too, because I've had the dogs since they were, you know, tiny pups. But like I said, Winston's never bit an adult. But he's bit 2 children. Not anything harmful. It didn't even draw blood. But I mean, one of them, we were on a vacation. We were literally on a vacation. We were in like Miami about to go on a cruise, and we got a call that when the daughter was like playing around his cage or something, she stuck her hand in the cage and he like snipped and bit her. So they're like, can you have somebody else watch him? We had our 2 dogs over there. So then I had to call a friend to come pick him up. But I think he's never liked kids. I don't know what it is, but I guess some people, I guess it's a thing, right? Where some dogs are kind of spooked around children or something. I don't know. But I mean, long story short, he's bit Kato once or twice. Nothing bad, never draw blood, but it kind of scares me. Like, what if I'm not in here? And he's like, oh, you know, most of them are.
Exactly. You have to be careful. You have to be careful and watch, because we don't know. We don't know when it's going to turn south, and then you may lose it.
Yeah, how big are your dogs? You got big dogs too, or what are your?
No, they're quite small. They're down here just chilling on the couch, but they are kind of 4 kilos, 10 pounds.
10 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere
enough that you could get them off of you if you needed to. Huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They are, you know this breed, Yorkshire Terrier. So
yeah.
Ladies' dogs. Like I didn't want them in the beginning because I thought it was too feminine.
Yeah.
So then my wife was pretty firm on the
which one dog. She wanted.
and then I said, okay, you pick the dog, I pick the name for the first one.
Okay.
So she accepted, and I actually wanted to name as Chewbacca, but then Chewbacca she wouldn't accept. But then it became Chewie.
Oh, there you go. That's close. It's a good compromise.
Oh, but Chewie is the Chewbacca's.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's a good compromise. And Chewie is still, for people who aren't fans of the show, right? Still comes across as a decent name, right? Not too much.
You know, one thing that is funny back in Brazil, everywhere that it would bring her, like pet store or veterinary, that I would have to spell her name was so difficult, because even I had trouble spelling her name. Even to this date, sometimes I don't know how to write. And then I remember the first time I was here, and I brought her to the veterinary, and they asked, "Oh, what's her name?" "Oh, it's Chewie." C-H. Oh, yeah, I got it. Oh, of course, you're from here.
They got it.
Yeah. So at least this is easier here. They know her name. But then, on the other hand, my other dog, her name it's a Portuguese name, Amora. So Amora is a fruit. I think is blackberry.
Okay.
Blackberry or raspberry. So but Amora, nobody. It's not Amora, it's Amora.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that, right?
No, so, yeah, for sure. I would never know that.
Yeah, we have to translate. Oh, it's blackberry. I don't even know if it's blackberry. But blackberry, blackberry is funny and it's easy to say. So blackberry.
No,
blackberry it is.
I think you should have called it a rainbow berry, like your camera right now. I think that between the no, I think that's a pretty solid name. Our pup's name. Go ahead.
I was not watching myself. That's why I didn't notice.
It just happened. Like right when I was perfect with the timing of the joke. No, dogs were very, very American names, right? They were a whiskey, right? Because me and my wife like Jack Daniels, like whiskey. And then the other dog is Winston, like the cigarettes. So he's like
Winston.
Yep, Winston. Sir Winston.
Winston is the name of the owner. John Wick. There's the hotel. So one of the guy Winston.
Oh, really? He's the owner of one of the hotels.
Didn't you watch John Wick?
I've seen John Wick. I haven't seen it like hundreds of times, but I've seen the first couple, all of them. Yeah. I didn't remember.
Well, there's 4, right? Not just a couple.
Yeah. There's 4, right? I don't know if I've seen the most recent one.
Well, maybe. So a lot of times when they have a sequel, the first 2, 3 are very good. The last one is not so good, right?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah. So John Wick, it's one example of that. So the first 3 the first one is very good. The second and the third, the second and the third are good, still good. The fourth one, they could have stopped on the third one, right? It's still worth watching.
Yeah.
For people like me, like I don't know how much
who are fans.
I like Keanu Reeves. I like that type of movie.
Absolutely.
I like killing everybody. Like that's killing for no reason. Kill everybody. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So it's still
get this man a psyche valve now. I like it too.
Yeah, I like to watch, but the fourth one, no. Man,
he wasn't there.
Have you watched the fourth one? No.
Is that the one where he's like taking the dog around, or? And he's like,
the dog's there. The dog's there. But it's the one with the blind guy.
I can't remember. The last one I remember watching was where he basically like had to give his beads up to like all the people, like give his stamp pass or what is free pass to the Ark or whatever. That was the last one.
The table.
The Noah. That's the last one I saw. But I can't remember.
Well, the last one, they put him. Everybody wants to kill him, of course. Again.
Yeah.
But there's one guy, which is the main character, one of the main characters of the movie, but he's blind. So he's after John Wick, but he's blind. Man, it's just hard to swallow a blind guy after John Wick and almost winning,
Yeah, see, like, dude, if that guy wasn't blind, he would have been John Wick. No. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I can go with you there, right? I was gonna say that too. Like, I didn't I don't think I've ever seen one of the Star Wars movies all the way through.
Really?
Yeah. So when you're talking about, that's usually the expression I get to when I say that I am not like a Star Wars guy. Like I didn't.
Why? I'm interested.
And that's really a good question too, because I like the sci-fi genre in general, and I enjoy astrology and astronomy as well. And so like to think about why not Star Wars? I don't know. Like if I'm being honest, that shit, if it's just me letting the bears talk for me, that shit just seemed boring as shit to me. I wanted to say another word, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit G-rated. But it didn't seem like something that interested me. And then I think that the more that people like hyped it up, the more that I just genuinely felt like I'm not interested in that movie. I just never have been. I think that I've tried to turn it on before. And I have friends that whenever this conversation comes up, they get taking it kind of personal almost. That I don't like it. But I don't know. I've tried to watch it a couple of times, just haven't. And I think, how sometimes now you can go back and the viewability or the rewatchability is still there for some old movies. Like the quality hasn't the CGI for whatever reason, or maybe the storytelling is still there. Maybe like The Godfather, right? Like I'm still interested in watching that. That's like another one where I haven't watched it, but I'm not like I would have never watched it. I'll probably never watch Star Wars. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just over the years, it's one of those that now at this point too, where I just don't think that my stomach could get through the quality of the movie from back then too, right? And actually get the enjoyment that the people did out of watching that story with Anakin and stuff. So I might get canceled for saying that, but that's just me. I've never been into the series.
I get it. I know a lot of people, get not high, but get excited listening to those big flip flop discs, right? I don't know how vinyl.
Yeah, vinyls. Yeah.
Then I don't get why. I don't like that sound that makes the noise. So I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear or to listen to high quality music.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
So when I get a track from the 70s, from the 60s, I can still listen to it, but I don't enjoy as much, right?
It's not like your jam, huh?
I understand where you're coming from, but well, Star Wars, it's a big thing, right? There's even a religion, right?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I know that people like speak the language and stuff, or maybe that's Star Trek, but yeah, I know that's definitely like.
So, some folks get so crazy. It becomes a religion indeed for many people. But what I heard, I've never searched on the internet, but what I've heard is that there is an actual registered religion in the theme of the Star Wars. I don't remember the name.
Hey man,
we should fact check. Look
it up. Let's see. I'm gonna do the same while you search it up too. I want to see if there's actually a star. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, me neither. Jediism.
Oh yeah.
A religion based on the moral and spiritual codes of the fiction Jedi from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, at a minimum, it's like a literal philosophy that people approach. Hey, that's crazy.
If they follow what the Jedis believe, so then they are better than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, at least they are trying to be good people.
That's true. Yeah, hey, that's better than like some people aren't sort of driven by any moral code, right? So at least it's something. At least it's a start. A lot of people out there could probably use some type of code or guidance.
I was watching myself the other included. Day. Yeah, I was watching the other day a podcast with the daughter of the guy that created the Church of the Devil. Is that the name? Yeah, it was something very, very popular on the 70s, I believe. 80s.
Yeah.
So this guy had the Church for the Devil. I don't remember.
Very
the exact.
Yeah.
And she was explaining how she was involved because, of course, she was daughter of the
preacher's daughter.
Yeah. But then she got out, and even to this day, people still related her to.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
Antichrist, right? Antichrist.
Yeah, that's gotta be rough.
But yeah, it was a very interesting conversation to learn more how the church worked. Behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy that was interviewing her, Jordan Peterson, it's a very good guy.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, Jordan Peterson did an interview on her. Okay, I'm sure it's massive.
He's Canadian and he lives in the US now.
Yeah, because he's got all that influencer money now. He went from being a professor to being an influencer.
Yeah. No, actually, she got he got his doctor license revoked because of his opinions. He was very against the government. He still is against the government. So he was kind of being, I don't know if he was not prosecuted, but they were after him.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Yeah.
Repercussions he was facing. He still faces repercussions due to his opinions. But I like him. I like him, and I like him a lot. His opinions are very, very.
Yeah, I don't say I maybe necessarily agree with all of his opinions. I think he has some stuff, but I think he has his position on why he states that, and I can't fault somebody who's stating opinions based off some of their own personal foundations, right? We all have our own beliefs and you know and our internal systems. So there's a lot of value, and one of the things that he talks about a lot that I advocate for because I believe that this is a problem is just society's perception of men. Society's perception of men and their roles for us, right? And I actually plan on spinning up another series on my YouTube channel around this Jordan Peterson. There's another gentleman that I watch.
Joe Rogan?
No. He's a professor at NY. He's in investing. I've mentioned his name quite a few times, but anyway, he's on the same avenue where he's advocating for just men and like that men are really struggling right now with depression, with society's belief in what men should be accomplishing and what is masculinity, right? What does that even mean? And society's weird opinions on, oh, you need to be a man. And then when you try to be a man and then you're like, oh, you're sexist or this or that, right? I think that there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes around that. So I think that Jordan Peterson does advocate a lot about awareness on this topic because I think that it's a very important one. Suicide continues to rise. Veteran suicide, continues to be an issue. I think that a lot of these things, even childhood suicides, right? The pressure of social media and all that stuff in your face. If you listen to the book, The Revenge of the Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell, in that book, they talk about a lot of the epidemics of child suicide because of pressure and stuff like that the society puts on us. So, I think there's a lot of legit. I got on a sidebar right there, but I agree with that gentleman on some of his points.
Well, you brought something very interesting, the child suicidal on these dates, on this age, because social media has such a massive effect on child, right?
Yes.
It affects us as adults, but child especially because they are so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And kids these days are getting connected so early, man. Early. It's
my 4-year-old is addicted to his I'm getting right now to the point where I'm about to tell him like I got to take away his iPad because he's coming up with some mannerisms I know he got directly from the internet. He got directly through YouTube and some of the videos and the material that are on there. It's a great learning tool, right? He's picked up so much from watching shows and stuff, and he's very good with his emotions. But he walks around now, and I get it. Part of it's just a little tantrum of a 4-year-old, but he walks around and he goes, "Ha ha, loser." I know he got that off of some video, right? So, but he said something yesterday that absolutely hit the tipping point for me, and now I'm like monitoring what he's watching. And I wouldn't give him like a snack or something. I can't remember what it was. Like he'd been eating snacks all day, and I said, "You need to eat some real food." And I said something to him, and this is a 3-year-old, right? So he's about to be 4, and we'll call him 4 years old because in like 3 weeks he'll be 4. So this is a 4-year-old, mind you, and he told me when I wouldn't get him a snack, he told me to go hurt myself. And I said, "Whoa!" He told me to go hurt myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, 4-year-old to like have that kind of verbiage, and you're like, "Whoa!" Like, where did you get this?
He doesn't even know what that means.
No, but here's the worst thing around it. He also picked up a habit a couple of days ago when I wouldn't give him a snack. He's like, "All right, I'm going to hit me." And he like smacked himself in the head. A lot of kids go through this kind of phase. But my problem is when you hear stuff on the internet, like hurt yourself. And then, a lot of that stuff's fake or it's not, it's like a cartoon or they're doing some skit. But, to a 4-year-old, that stuff looks real. And so like, that plus him saying that, I'm like, bro, like I really got to start monitoring what you're watching because it's having I'm seeing the feedback be too consistent more than what I'm teaching you, right? So I need to kind of step in. But yeah, so I agree when you say that society has like kids have their work cut out for them trying to battle social media, you're right. And it starts at a young age. I think there's so much power in the information on the internet, but the jury is out on how bad the impact is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. Somebody in the chat mentioned that their daughter has an iPad that's available at the mom's house, but not at the dad's house, right? So that gives them some time to, check in, check out. I think that's probably the best, sort of like the best approach, right? Our brains, like I didn't grow up, like literally my old ass didn't grow up with an iPad, right? Cell phones weren't even around until I was in high school. And so I had people, bullying me in high school, but I got to go home and get away from it, right? They weren't bullying me when I was at home, at my house shooting hoops in the backyard. But nowadays, like kids just see that stuff 24/7. So maybe not having stuff around, at least it's a cycle you can uncheck, you can unplug for a little bit. Now where it's just people are locked into that stuff. I took my son, he's a teenager. He's going to be a senior next year. I took his phone away. He was having some problems with his grades, and I gave him some coaching. It didn't work. And I said, give me your PC, go give me your power cable, and go give me your phone, give me your Steam Deck. And I just kept him for, I can't remember what it was. I kept him for like months. And I said, until the grades are good. But I remember when I said, give me your phone, he was just like, like, bro, like when I said my phone, like he literally almost started crying. Like a teenage boy, like almost started crying. Like, not the phone. Like, here, please let me talk about it. Let me just, and he had like, he's like, I need a break. Let me just give me like 2 seconds. Let me just like get through what's happening. I'm like, yeah, well, you take all the time you need. He was sitting right over there. I'm like, you take all the time you need, bro. I said, but ain't gonna, think about what you got to say, choose your words wisely, right? Or whatever. But the outcome is going to be the same. You're not walking out of here with your phone. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think people might be a little too attached to those things. She's 5. Yeah, no, she gets to unplug and play. Hey, there we go. 156 acre mountain. So I grew up on a 100-acre farm, right? I grew up on a pretty poor family, but they inherited some land in the middle of Kansas where land was cheap. And so I spent so much time. And I think, Joe, this was part of my speech at Ford when I talked about being out in the woods, sitting there giving my speeches. It was because I was a kid and there was no cell phone or no social media. I didn't have any followers to talk to. So I was out on the hillside giving my speeches and doing our podcast session trainings, years ago on the hillside. So that's good. It's good. Having farmland that the kids can run around on, having them unplug. I think variety is good, right? I see families where they completely pull their kids out of social media or off of like phones and stuff. And some of the stuff that they got to deal with in high school, because they get bullied, right? You don't have a phone, you're going to get bullied, right? Yeah. You look funny, you're going to get bullied. Your clothes are outdated, you're going to get bullied. So any reason. And so I don't think that like not having one's like maybe the right answer too. You got to have a balance.
Yeah, I am right on that tipping point because
what do you say? I was going to say, how about you? I want to hear from you. Like you're right there.
Oh my God. My daughter is 13. She doesn't have a phone yet.
Oh, man.
But last year on her birthday, I think it was birthday was on her birthday last year. No, was this year, was September this year. When she became 13, we gave her an option. Do you want a phone? Yeah. Or do you want a guitar? Mm-hmm. So she preferred the guitar, luckily. So
there we go.
Yeah, we're still avoiding, procrastinating that thing. But I know it's coming next year, maybe in a few months. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we see the need already because sometimes we go out, like grocery store or even to some friends. She stays at home, or even when she goes to the safety on the school bus. Like we want to see where she is. We want a communication channel.
Yeah.
And we don't have right now. So me with these projects that I'm going, sometimes I'm having meetings really early. Yeah. I can't walk her to the bus stop. So the problem is she goes, but I don't know if she got to the school if the school calls me, right?
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't attend the school, they are going to call me.
Yep.
But that's like 1 hour and a half after she left home.
Yeah.
So it's
like a safety thing. Yeah. No, and especially in today's society, dude, I just couldn't do it. I can't risk it. I agree. So I mean, it's good and the bad, but this thing is like I'm very fortunate because I've been around your daughter on a couple occasions, and not that we've had very in-depth conversations, but just from hearing her speak, it seems like she has a decent brain on top of her shoulders. At least does. At this point, you can have conversations about the use of social media and like how if she's getting bullied or people are trying to reach out, that she needs to have those conversations with you guys, right? And so, I mean, at least she's at the age and you guys have built that relationship where I'm sure that all will be good, right? It should be, shouldn't be an issue. So, but man, Joe, my beer is out and my food, my wife already sent me a text. She's like, I got the Popeyes sitting out here. So she's going to start pinging me.
Bro, I think we are on time, and I'm glad we made all the way through this year. We started earlier this year, man. Just really short retrospective here.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been through some little things, and we improved ourselves quite a lot.
Yep, I agree.
In this journey, this 25 episodes minus one that is lost. So I'm very glad, man. Coming to this point, in looking back, what we did so far is amazing. I'm very proud of us, of the work we put to this, man. So first of all, thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for the knowledge sharing, because you have such a great brain, and I love just to be able to open it, pick up something, and then try to put on mine.
Dude, your words are so kind, man. I would have never even imagined, our first episode, if you go back and look at it, to where we're at today, man. Like 25 in the books. Thank you, Warhorse, for the congratulations on a season completed. We feel amazing that we got another episode in. And Joe, I'm so happy. I know that you made an agreement for more than 25, and I'll keep it to it, but to have the first season done, I couldn't have imagined doing it with anybody but you. You've been phenomenal. I think that even you can tell if you go back and look where you started and where you are now, that you're getting the hang of it and you're getting it quick. And I love it, brother. You're doing awesome. Thank you for taking this journey with me as well.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I'll thank you next season. Thank you. And thank you, most importantly, to our viewers. Thank you for showing up to the lives. If you're one of our Spotify listeners, thank you so much as well. We're going to have more interesting guests in season 2, right, Joe? We're going to have more people lined up. So...
man. All the very best is waiting on season 2.
And we're just getting started, baby. So, Joe, I'll get out of here. I know that you got the family, you got a trip. Have safe travels wherever you do end up in the U.S. Take pictures. I can't wait to share them. You and I will connect offline to get season 2 ready for the viewers.
Cool. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, man. Yeah, let me get this scene flipped over to the end.